Am I a bad person because I got a little smile on my face when I found out that 42% of the people that receive SNAP benefits are white people in red states?
You wanna know what's crazy? Now we see who need them motherfucking stamps. Well, now we see who really down bad and shit, who really need them more than us, huh?
Baby, one thing about TikTok, if you want people to get mad, all you got to do is get up here and make you a video telling the truth or talking about a subject that's very sensitive to certain people. Now, certain people got a right to be sensitive to this subject about these SNAP benefits. But let me tell you something. Some of y'all need to go ahead on and fall back. You need to go ahead on and fall back, because the excuses that you bring into my comments, it just don't pan out. You know good and well when me and other creators are on here making videos about these SNAP benefits, we are not talking about the people who deserve those benefits. We are not talking about the veterans. We are not talking about the elderly. We are not talking about people who are really disabled and can't work. And we're not talking about the people who use it as a gap filler from their job versus what it takes to take care of their family. We're talking about the people who have been on this assistance for years and years and years and have taken it as their way of life. You are the ones we are talking about. We are talking about the ones who continue to grow families knowing that they are not even taking care of the kids that they have, yet they continue to add to it for the taxpayers to take the tab. That's who we are talking about. And let me tell you something. It's not the elderly who have anything to say about it. It's not the veterans who are up here talking about it. It's not the people who are disabled up here talking about it. Guess who's talking about it? Guess who has a real problem with what's going on with these benefits being hindered? It is the healthy people that could be working but have chosen not to. It is the ones who have grown their families to sizes that are uncontrollable and that they cannot feed without the assistance of the government. That's who has a problem with it. So get ready. As long as I'm a taxpayer, as long as I'm a law-abiding citizen, if something comes up in this world news that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. And it's not to offend.
You know what? I did a video on here a few days ago about food stamps and people's food stamps being affected in November. But baby, I got to address this to the white people, because what they need to know, not all black people are on food stamps. And y'all was in my comments saying, oh, you're going to miss your food stamps. Baby, I don't get food stamps over here. I pay for my groceries every single month without a problem. So y'all need to know that every black person is not on food stamps. Whole time, Meemaw is the one y'all need to worry about. And if her food stamps are going to be affected. So before you come over here, if I choose to do an EBT food stamp video, that doesn't mean that the food stamps are affecting me. Worry about your family and Meemaw and if her food stamps will be affected. Because last time I checked, you can go and Google it, white America is the biggest percentage of people that are on food stamps. You same people that didn't know Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act. So again, before you address me with any, oh, you're going to miss your food stamps, don't do it. Because like I said over here, I pay for my food. I don't get food stamps. Thank you.
Funny story about white people and food stamps. Did y'all know that one of the biggest reasons why white people did not want to desegregate was because they did not want to share the government assistance programs that were specifically designed for whites only, including food stamps, welfare, Section 8, and public schools. Yes, public schools is a part of that umbrella. And please remember, when a white person tells you something about black people being on Section 8, remind that motherfucker that the Section 8 program and every other government assistance program used to be whites only. It was made for lazy white people, which is all white people. Lazy. Why do y'all think they want Trump back in office? So that motherfuckers ain't got to work as hard as they fucking working now. They stressed. They broke. And what do stressed white people do? They either kill themselves, kill their families, or they go on some sort of shooting spree. By Trump rolling back food stamps and WIC, that affects about 20 million white people in America. But remember, we tried to tell y'all, just because you're white doesn't mean you won't be affected by Trump's policies. Let me give you a quote that basically sums all of this up. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you.
Honestly, I'm very happy they're taking away the food stamps. That's great because y'all swear at the poll you were doing something to hurt immigrants and people who look like me. But now, all the rednecks and Mima and Papa and Junebug and Slaughterbug and all y'all gonna be hungry this fucking Thanksgiving. Thank God. You thought you were shooting other people, you end up shooting yourself in the foot. Good. Like, great. I'm happy. Thank you. Majority of the immigrants who you claim are stealing your stuff, we don't even qualify for food stamps. Maybe y'all can use this hungry time to think about what y'all did at the poll last November. This Thanksgiving, maybe y'all can fast and repent.
Government assistance was made for white people. The fact that the programs are made in like 1935, like in the 1930s, says it all right there, given the fact that black people were not even considered people under the law at that time. But I've really been doing some more research and reading, and I read an article and they were talking about how like up until like the 60s or 70s, black people really could not qualify for government assistance. And that is absolutely disheartening, being that now it hasn't even been 100 years later that black people are now the face of all racial stereotypes regarding government assistance in Section 8. Meanwhile, these same programs were never even made for us. Meanwhile, black people had to jump through hoops to get qualified. Meanwhile, people talk about black fathers not being in the home, and these same government institutions were not wanting the men to be there. Like, what the fuck?
So due to the government shutdown, there will be no SNAP benefits dispersed for November of 2025. And I feel like y'all need to feel this because y'all put those people in position to do this to y'all. Y'all voted for them. Y'all went out thinking that, oh, this man was going to give y'all something. Guess what? They cannot say it's the Democrats or the liberals because guess what? The Republicans own every single part of the government. I'm talking about the Senate, the House, the presidency, and they own the Supreme Court. And it's always going to be about politics. Oh, the Democrats aren't doing this. No, y'all asked for this because y'all thought y'all was going to get a stimulus check and some free money. It's never going to be free. It's always going to be at the cost of the taxpayers' dollars. And they're going to say, oh, it's going to affect the brown and blacks. No, it affects the Caucasity because guess who are on more government benefits than any other ethnicity? The Caucasities people are. And I feel like y'all need to feel that because y'all went and did this. Because guess what? The rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And it is what it is. But y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go. I'm not upset because guess what? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect a lot of people that are around me. But it is going to affect kids who are hungry. They're talking about the food banks are open. People are going to be starving in the richest country in the world. And y'all talking about, oh, it's somebody else's fault. No, it's y'all fault because y'all put them people in position. Y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go. But yeah, they say the food bank's open. That's what they said today in a meeting. The food banks are open.
Hey, Mega, one question for you. Who y'all think is on food stamps the most? Who y'all think is getting government assistance the most? It's not black people. It's not the minority people. It's y'all, white people. Y'all be seeing them election night when y'all see all them red counties and you see this big old blue county. Those were the poor folks at. So y'all celebrating getting something taken away from us that's gonna hurt y'all the most. That's how dumb y'all is, man. Y'all do not understand what they is doing to y'all. They doing the same shit to us that they doing to y'all, but y'all so dumb to even realize y'all on here celebrating something that majority of the people that's on food stamps is white people who stay in them rural areas where they have nothing. So who gonna win? Who gonna win? It's not y'all. One day y'all will wake up. If not, this gonna go down in history as the dumbest voting block ever in American history because y'all can't comprehend, y'all don't understand, y'all don't want to learn. But just know this, if they take it from me and the other people around me, they damn sure take it for y'all. So celebrate y'all downfall too. Just fucking crazy.
Okay, so yes, it's official. Trump has accidentally exposed who really benefits from EBT, or what we call food stamps. I honestly didn't even know about much about that, because where I come from in Africa, we don't have that kind of a thing. If you don't have cash, you simply go to bed hungry. That's just how it is. But here, what's interesting, apparently, government assistance programs like EBT weren't even designed with black folks in mind. These programs go way back early 1930s, something like that. And that alone should tell you something, because let's be honest, back then, black people weren't even considered fully as human beings. The eyes, that's, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, exactly what I mean. So when you look at it from that lens, it becomes clearer who these safety nets were originally built for. And then fast forward to the 2000s, somewhere, it took decades of struggle and policy fights for black communities to even be included or reorganized in programs that were never made for them to begin with. Yet somehow over time, the narrative flipped. The stereotypes started forming, the ones I'm talking about, the lazy label, the absent black father trope, all those negative associations tied to government assistance. And the irony is those programs weren't even meant for black folks. It's wild when you think about how history gets rewritten, and how easily people forget who these systems were built to protect. So yeah, Trump might have just said the quiet part out loud without even realizing it. Anyway, let's continue watching these reactions. I'll come back at the end of this video to give my full-blown 2 cents. Yeah, so let's continue watching. Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Yeah.
Does the government know that majority people that are on food stamps or SNAP benefits are white? I feel like they don't, because white children going hungry, they wouldn't do that. Somebody tell them that.
Trigger warning, I'm going to be in white people business. Trigger warning, I'm going to be in white people business. White people, I want you to know that the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, is the exact same thing as food stamps. The exact same thing as food stamps. The same with Obamacare. Obamacare is the exact same thing as the Affordable Care Act, ACA. The Affordable Care Act is Obamacare. Everyone in the United States of America know that you all white people is the largest recipients of food stamps. We know that you are the largest recipients of receiving food stamps and doing food stamp fraud. We know that white people is the Republicans, is the ones that stated that they did not want to give out food stamps due to the government shutdown. And we know that you voted for this. White people, this is your time to shine. This is your time to shine, because a lot of people think that you all did this.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Some exciting news on this very dreary and gloomy Monday morning. So on a poll taken, and statistics show that on this Monday morning, even though all these Trumpies are all for this big disastrous bill, and they have no problem with SNAP, EBT, WIC, and everything else, Medicaid taken away from undocumented migrants who, first of all, do not receive those benefits. But let me tell some great news on this Monday. Statistics show in this poll that was taken that 6.8 million people that are on SNAP are white. 4.1 million are African American, and 3.7 million are Latinos, Hispanics. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Share the video for awareness, but I think that when all these changes come around, the ones that are going to have their panties in a bunch and are going to be very upset are the Trumpies. But I hope they have the day and the life they deserve. For the rest of you guys, stay safe out there. Happy Monday. Blessed week. I love you.
MAGA and all the Trump supporters, I would like for you to know and understand that for the month of November and probably December, there will be no SNAP benefits. Okay? There will be no EBT. There will be no food stamp benefits for the month of November. And with that being said, there will also be no Medicaid. And then, I'm also hearing through the grapevine, hearing through the streets is talking, that military healthcare is down right now. And they can't explain why. Medicaid is down right now. And they can't explain why. And for all the supporters out there, how many of you receive food stamps to feed your children? Next month will be Thanksgiving. They will be out of school for a week? Your kids are going to be out of school for a week with no food. You're going to have a Thanksgiving with no food. How's that? And then all of the supporters who were in the military and were serving this big, beautiful country that you love, you won't be getting any health care next month. Oh, you probably are getting it now. I forgot. It's they don't know what's wrong with it, and they can't explain what's wrong with it, and they're not giving an update on when it'll be back up. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Me, on the other hand, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because you know what? The way God covers me, baby, we covered in the blood around these parts. So I believe not one of my children will be hungry. I believe not one of my children will be sick with any ailments, and they won't need to go to any doctors or anything like that. I believe that there will be no shortage of food at my house. And then get this. While we supposed to be over here starving and can't get no motherfucking health care, he just sent Argentina $20 billion. $20 billion with a B. But we won't be able to go to the grocery store to get a pack of chicken. Won't be able to get a turkey for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Just want to make sure y'all had knew what was going on. Oh, and then another thing, mind you, he just sent Argentina that $20 billion, but we just sent them money in April to help the Argentinian, I don't know if that's the right word, but the Argentinian coins from going under. But and mind you, first of all, Argentina owe us so much fucking money. We're always bailing their ass out. At this point, Argentina just need to move over here. Move the fuck over here. What the fuck?
Finally, you get to see the true America. The stipulation has always been that black people are lazy, that black people are on welfare. Well, guess what? A lot of poor white people in the red states are now crying that they're not getting the EBT money from the EBT cards. Why? Because they are on welfare. They have 7 and 8 kids. Now the truth is coming out since Trump has slashed funding for the EBT and the SNAP programs. You see how many white people now are on welfare. So all this mythical stuff about black people being on welfare, it's the blacks, it's the blacks, it's the blacks. Now you're seeing the real America, that it's not only black people on welfare, that there are a lot of white people on welfare also. There are a lot of white people, a lot of poor people living in those red states, and those red states that voted for Trump are now getting hit hard.
I have to be really honest with you. Every single person I've personally ever known who's on food stamps or public assistance has been a white person. And I think maybe that's my background. Maybe that's where I'm from. My dad grew up in the projects, and he recently passed away. And something I've been thinking a lot about is the fact that growing up, our cupboards were always full. And I think our cupboards were always full because my father was just that traumatized by poverty. Now, sometimes it's not smart to have your cupboards full, right? But something that I've learned from him is to make sure that my cupboards are full, right? And so I make a point of, shopping smart. And I watched a bunch of videos today of white people, because it's always white people.
What a twist of events, right? After all the talk and the campaign promises about helping the working class, lowering grocery prices and draining the swamp, here we are watching the truth unfold right in front of our eyes. It turns out that white Americans, not minorities, are the highest beneficiaries of the U.S. food stamp program. And that's not an option. That's what the data says. Statistically, white people make up the largest group receiving government assistance, whether we're talking about food stamps, Medicaid, or other welfare programs. The irony is just too hard to ignore. Many people who voted for the boss truly believed they were voting for policies that would cut welfare, or make life harder for the so-called lazy freeloaders. They imagine were mostly people of color, yet the numbers came out. It was revealed that the very system they wanted to reform was actually helping their own communities the most. Now, let's break down where this all started, because to understand why this revelation matters, you have to know the history. The food assistance program in the United States didn't just pop up overnight. It's been around for nearly a century. It began in 1939 during the Great Depression as part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt New Deal. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. The country was in economic chaos. Millions were out of work, and farmers had so many unsold crops that food was literally going to waste. So the government introduced the food stamp program. The idea was simple. People on relief could buy orange stamps equal to their usual food spending, and for every dollar they spend, they would get an extra 50 cents in blue stamps that could only be used to buy surplus farm goods like milk, eggs, and grains. It was a way to help both struggling families and farmers at the same time. Between 1939 and 1943, that program reached over 20 million people across the country. But here's where it gets complicated. Back then, many black families were excluded because they weren't eligible for most government aid programs due to segregation, discrimination, and local control of welfare distribution. In many southern states, black people were either denied assistance outright or given smaller amounts simply because of their race. So from the very beginning, these systems were built with barriers that made it hard for black people or people of color to access them. The program ended in 1943 but made a comeback in 1961 when President John F. Kennedy launched a pilot vision to combat hunger in poor areas. Then in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Food Stamp Act, officially making it a permanent part of the U.S. welfare system. Over the decades, the program expanded and evolved. In the 1970s, the requirements to buy the stamps was removed, making it easier for families in need to receive help. By the late 1990s, the government switched from paper stamps to EBT cards, turning the older food stamp program into what's now known as SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And this is where it gets even more interesting. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, which oversees SNAP, white Americans consistently make up the largest share of recipients. Reports from both the USDA and the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities show that about 37 of SNAP households are palm color white people, while 26% are black, 16% Hispanic, and the rest are mixed or other racial groups. That means that white households receive the largest overall share of food assistance dollars in the country. So when you think about the narrative that's been pushed for decades, the one that stereotypes black people as being lazy, dependent on welfare, and unwilling to work, it's shocking to realize that it was built on a false foundation. The truth is the system that so many people love to criticize is one that actually benefits the same group that created and controlled it from the start. That's the real twist in this story. And it's even more ironic when you remember that during the boss's campaign, a lot of his base supported him because they believed he would cut government handouts and force people to work. They imagined those handouts were going to people of color in the inner cities. But what they didn't realize was that the people standing right next to them in line at Walmart or shopping for groceries in rural America were often the ones using those same EBT cards. The data doesn't lie. Rural poverty is real, and it's predominantly white. Now, if you ask me, this entire conversation exposed something deeper. It's not just about food stamps or EBT. It's about how systems are built, who they were built for, and how quickly people forget history. When these programs first started, they were never designed for black people. Black communities found ways to survive without them. They built networks of mutual aid, shared food, supported one another, and created their own system of resilience. So when people start worrying that cuts to government programs might devastate black families, I say don't underestimate the strength and adaptability of the Black community. Adaptability as in adapt. Black communities survived before food stamps, before EBT, before any form of welfare. They were surviving, they were building, and they'll continue to do so. So as we approach November and these government conversations get louder about welfare reform, about who deserves what, I think it's safe to say that Black folks will be just fine. Yeah, it might be, shake them a little, but they will be fine. Those were just my thoughts, but I want to hear from you. What do you guys think about this, all of this? Does it surprise you that white Americans benefit more from food stamps and government assistance than any other group? Or do you think that this was bound to come out eventually? Please go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's talk about it. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.